Hi, welcome back. I'm still experimenting with the acrylic. I'm going straight onto the Fabriano £130 paper. This isn't on the back of a failure, it's a new piece of paper. My colours for this one, this abstract, are, I'll go around the palette. We've got, let's come out a little bit. We've got lemon yellow, orange, white of course, that's the artist quality. Crimson red, ultramarine, black and viridian. So primary colours with one ready-made green and black. Okay, so I've stretched out a piece of oven paper, greaseproof paper for this. Abstract expression, let your ideas follow the brush rather than the brush follow the ideas. That's my way of doing these. Oh, properly. And my texture paste, which I'm not using. I'm going to wet the paper all over. So this is not ready wetting wet. I want the paint to blend and blur to start with. So see what happens to it. The paper will expand and I will re-stretch it, re-clip it as we go. But this will give it an expansion of evenness, I hope. Right, get my little brushes. Just clean one. Right, one brush. Two brushes. I've got three of these older ones. Oh, there we are. Waiting to go. Waiting to wear out. And I've got three more new ones. But these have been doing very well. That hair is sort of coming out the side, but maybe that's because it needs wetting. Okay, so let's start. We'll put in a wash of something or other. I've got orange on here. I like orange. It's a good shortcut. But let's start off with a viridian, a bit of viridian, and we'll see what happens. It nicely blends, merges, and a bit of yellow in there. Viridian and the lemon yellow make a wonderful pairing, brilliant green. But acrylic isn't like watercolour, it washes out, but only to a certain amount. The real diluting acrylic is the chroma colour, which was used in Disney cartoons, but of course it's all digital now, I suppose. So just let all that merge, and we can go in with different colours. Clean the brush. See what a bit of orange and a bit of yellow does. As it hits the green, it sort of changes to a sort of a muddier colour, but that's okay. I've got nothing happening yet. It all hits and miss at the moment. A bit Howard Hodgkin-y at the moment. I'm just going to re-clip the paper, keep it nice and flat. They start off thin, work from lean to fat, as they say. Let's clip that there. That's fine, that's looking good. Right, let's just brighten up that bit here now. Okay, clean the brush. And we're going more of that viridian, I think. A bit of yellow, and a bit of white, make it more opaque. Spray. Get some merging with this. I don't know what you make of these. Me going from impressions of the English landscape mostly to this, but I've already had one comment on Facebook or YouTube even that the artist finds it very hard to let go. Well, the way to let go is to just let go. I've prepared the paper, I've wet it, I've got my paints out, I'm working with the brush. I'm not thinking of anything in particular. I'm just letting the paint go where it wants, but I'm keeping everything moist. And mergy. It is hard to let go, I must admit. It's when you do it for the first time, or getting the hang of it, of abstract expressionist painting. But build it up, and eventually, during the painting, the painting itself will dictate what you want to improve, or if the colour doesn't work, you can change it quite quickly. Reclip. Let's reclip the other side. This is half the size of the one I did earlier. So let's get this nice bright colour in this bit here. I haven't used blue yet. I've put it out of the palette, but you don't have to use your colours. And because it's on the greaseproof paper, you can throw it away when you finish painting. I know it's a bit wasteful, whereas using the Stay Wet palette is preserves the paint for some time, which is lovely. Let's just get these colours blending. It's a bit too squarey at the moment. That's an artist's expression when you're a bit too regular. But I want this to be sort of thin and luminous. But it's not really happening yet. The greens complement the oranges or the reds. Alright, let's strengthen up that viridian. Merge. That is held Hodgkinish. A bit of white in that. Now we're going a bit more impasto. Is it painting as we know it? Oh, who can tell? Look at Jackson Pollock. No, I'm not making any pretensions of being a Pollock. He was the first, as far as I know, this sort of stuff. Well, his drip paintings anyway, they were totally original because he'd never done them. And they're still finding psychological things in his paintings. Right, let's just merge this here. See if we can just get a bit of a ghostly effect of that. Look at Rothko. But who would have thought that painting could be so simple? I've seen his massive paintings in the our Tate Modern in London. He left them to the British people, which was very, very kind of him. Instead of the commission, he was commissioned to paint them, I think, for 4 seasons. I'm not sure about that, but he gave them to the nation anyway. And and wonderful gesture for all us to enjoy free of charge. We'll always be able to see them. Absolutely glorious. And he did so much with so little, but he thought about it. He's just slowly building up something. Right, let's just get this wet again. Ghostliness. Spectral. Well, that's a good title. It works out to be spectral. But I think it's a good discipline doing something like this. Even if you don't want to stay with it for yourself, it's good to try. It gets you out of the habit of copying. I don't mean to downsize copying because I couldn't do it. But there is copying and copying where it's a soulless but very accurate, highly detailed copy. But I much prefer the impressionist type of painting, the freer painting. But there are some wonderful artists of my own. My wife's nephew, Andrew Holden, he's a brilliant copyist, and he's working on one at the moment on Facebook, which he's publishing. This is looking very interesting. There's my namesake, Andrew Usher. He's not a relative, but he can paint. Well, he's wonderful. And there's a friend of mine, Fiona Hooper, who has a wonderful ability. And I've mentioned her before. Alright, it's just this is really just a backdrop. I'm not doing too much in the foreground here, I think. Just let that dry for a little bit. I will merge that. Just using this lemon yellow with a bit of the viridian. See where that goes, ladder. Spray. Just drag over that. See if we can just lose some of that. So that's still not dry there, let's just reclip it. We've got some nice runs there, we'll soon deal with those. Clean the brush. I want that light orange in the picture to show through. I think we need some purer colours now. Before we go over it and put some dramatic statements on it. And like that. Not really what I was about. Okay, let's go for it now. Let's get these colours over. I'm not quite happy with what I'm doing there really. Just marks now. There's absolutely no limit to imagination. Mine is not that great, but so if you plan these things, well, rather than just enjoy the process of painting, let's have a watch of colour in there. A watch there, get that in there. I have to use some blue in it. Okay, well something's starting to happen there now. Reaching out. I'm sure some of you think I've lost the plot, but this is just an interlude between the more recognisable stuff. They're lovely brushes, they're varnish brushes. I seem to have these diagonals on the frame, maybe that's anger, I don't know. Zigzags sort of denote anger. But let's have some more pure colour in it, or colour in there. Get these crimsons against the green. Must be careful not to go too near the edge because it sticks to the mount when I put it in a mount. There's so much for carrying it off the picture. I've got to stop somewhere. Right, let's get some verticals. But I do get fed up with painting the same old stuff. Because I've done nearly 1,400 videos now on YouTube, and there's only so many ways you can say a thing. Oh, and I've enjoyed it, and I hope I'll do the 1400 again. But there's only so many lakes and so many trees. This is where we're going to go plastering it on. Why it's quite dramatic, and I'm using it black yet. Or blue. I'll put it out. But I have to go to Wilkinson's and stock up on my paints. I'm going to use that black in a minute. That'd be scary. Dragging it down. I'd like to spatter, but it's a bit risky in a confined space. I've got something to work with now. I know it's a bit bitty, a bit too bitty really, but a bit of yellow. Just enjoy the colours. We've got so much on the top, on the bottom, and very little. The acrylic does tend to shrink a little bit, unlike oil. Oil will stay more or less as you put it on, which is the joy of oil. Now we need some, I need my brush there, to keep your brushes very clean. Right, now the black. Now where should we put the black? Where it's going to be seen. Oh, this is psychological. Oh, that's, well, who knows. Let's have Chinese. I should stop with the black on when I've used it up. Used it off the my palette. Let's get that going down there. Oh, so okay, so it's a mess. That's my mess. I wonder what Alan Owen will think of it. He'll be doing one tomorrow. We talk a lot on the phone, Alan and I know many of you subscribe to his lovely channel. He's such a nice man. So a bit of dark blue in there for a bit of mystery on the back. Oh, I'll cut my ear off later, I think. See, it's fun. Just acrylic, just really lovely, gorgeous paints. And we spend all the time mixing them, making them into mud. Oh, we just put some different colour in there as well. It's a Jackson Pollock drip painting now. Well, I'm doing it vertical, and he did a lot of his in fields. Sheer scale of, I love his work. There are a couple several in the Tate Modern of Jackson's. I think they're having a lot of problems with his paintings now because he used household paints, enamels, and they're not sticking to the canvas now. You know, nobody's ever done this before. I've been heavily inspired, well, yes, suggested anyway, by Elizabeth Roche, a French abstract painter, and absolutely lovely. Look at her on YouTube. But my painting, although it's inspired by her, there's no resemblance to what she does. She's far better than I am at this. I'm just having fun. But she is a wonderful painter, and I'd recommend, if you like sort of abstract, or if you'd like to do abstract and you're struggling with letting go, have a look at her stuff. It's all in time lapse. I think we're almost done then, but I want something in the middle, more or less in the middle. So a big wedge of white, I think. Here we go. Got to use it up. Let's just bung it on there. And I'm going to have to leave this to dry flat because it'll run down the paper, I think. Alright, okay, so there we are. Probably it needs a bit more going across it, I think. Otherwise it's just a little bit too vertical, up and down now. Let's just alter that a little bit, going off the paper. Watercolour paper is a wonderful support for oil and acrylic. And then we'll have another one going across. Sort of lost a little bit. And I think that's sort of modified it enough. Right, let's give it a direction. Okay, right, now we'll give it a reclip. Well, I need to reclip, I'm going to put a mount on it. Let's just use the masking tape just to hold it on the board. I'll put a bit at the bottom. I'm not doing myself at the moment, but I would advise you to wear a smock for this sort of stuff because you never know where it's going to end up. Right, okay. finger, mount. What colour? Blue. That's two. No, I used to all the ivory mount. Put that in there. And we'll just put a clip at the top. So no, it's the wrong colour mount, but I haven't got a great number of them to interchange. Let's bring that round and probably back to back to the River Wandle tomorrow. I'm off bike riding with my mates for the regular Tuesday go. Right, okay, so that's quite thick, that paint, but that was great fun. I've used most of the paint on the palette, so it's quite heavy painting, but see what you think of it. I know some of you think it's a load of old rubbish, but you're entitled to opinion, of course. So there we are. I'll think of a title. Bye for now.